Well, Merry Christmas, everybody, and of course, Happy New Year, COVID-free, possibly, maybe not. And anyway, here we are again, another Christmas. I've just got my lovely new O'Brien T-shirt. It's the Three Lions Rampant, and our family motto: Nil carborundum illegitimi. Marvelous. It is incredible. So this poem is, as you know, I do a Christmas poem at Christmas. And this one's all about the party at number 10, which Boris decided to have while the whole country was locked down. And I read one very upset lady on the BBC whose mother died alone the same day they were having their knees up, which absolutely disgusted me. And I think Marie Antoinette lost her head for less. Anyway, Boris will get away with it, gets away with everything, so there you are. Doesn't really matter, does it? Neither here nor there. But I did want to write a little poem about that. And I also wanted it to be a little sort of tribute to John Cooper Clarke, who in the 70s I thought was incredible, and I still think is incredible. And he is known as the punk poet laureate. I don't think he'd ever make it to be poet laureate, because he's too funny and his poems rhyme. So I'd never do. And we have a little in common. He's from Salford, and they call him the Salford Bard, which he obviously thinks that's an incredible accolade, and I think so too. And I lived in Salford for some years and was amazed by the place, and still am. And I'm one of the Salford Bard because I was actually barred from the Tesco Express in Salford Precinct, and not a lot of people know that. And it's a funny story in a way, but my advice is never express your feelings in a Tesco Express, especially in Salford, because you will be in trouble. And with hindsight, it was a blessing, because I never had to go back to Salford Precinct, which is marvellous, really, thinking back. But at the time, I was upset, and I knew all the girls on the checkout, and we all got on well. But they brought this new one in. I'm saying she was new. There was nothing new about her. The only thing that was new about her was her teeth. But they'd moved her from the Oldham branch, I think, for being too polite. Anyway, I'd come back from the States. I've been travelling for 24 hours, and I didn't know if I was on my arse or my head. And I went over there to get, anyway, it's a long story, but I finished up getting barred from the only supermarket in the country that has bouncers. I mean, you go in there to get your milk and your bread, and they go, "Are they trainers?" It was unbelievable. Anyway, I managed to get barred that day, and that's the comparison really between John Cooper Clarke and me. He's the Salford Bard, and I got barred. Incredible. Anyway, let me read this to you. I'm going to read it in a manner of John Cooper Clarke, and let's see how we go on. It might not work, but I'll do my best, and I hope I don't cause offence to anyone with this one. It's called The Party at Number 10. We're having a party at number 10. The whole country's invited. It won't just be them. We'll have champers, canapes, caviar too, and invite all the dignitaries to entertain you, the Maxwells, the Johnsons, and Prince Andrew too. We don't want any lowlifes, parasites or scum, so not many politicians will be able to come. There'll be music from the night at Sir Paul, Sir Elton, and hopefully Sir Rod, and maybe Sir Cliff, the repulsive old sod. A smattering of lesbians from New Scotland Yard. Dame Dick can't make it, but she did send a card. There's a do at the Masons she can't disregard. We hope you can make it, we'll all have a ball, and you can see all the reprobates hung on the wall. There's Thatcher and Heath, Major and Brown, Callaghan, Wilson and Blair with a frown. They didn't bother with Cameron, hung a whistler instead. We have to be thankful half the bastards are dead. Boris will be there telling old jokes about disabled people and working class folks. The winters will come as long as it's free, stealing the presents from under the tree. Harry and Meghan are home in LA, but his uncle will be there, the one who's so gay. To hell with the cost, we think it's quite funny, 'cause we're doing all this with taxpayers' money. They asked me to go, but I said not on your Nelly. I'd rather stay home and see what's on telly. Well, I hope you like that. I loved it. And Merry Christmas.